Yes, people, welcome back to the first XI. This is Extra Time where we talk all things football. We get you involved in the comments. You pretty much lead the show. We've got Sahar with us, regular on EGTV. We were just talking in the back about the European Super League and why it hasn't been announced yet, why we haven't heard anything right now. Please get in the comments. Let us know your thoughts on that. Are you for it? Are you against it? We'll talk about other big news in football. We'll talk about anything in football. Firstly, Sahar, before we get into any of the European Super League, tell me about the Arsenal Fulham game.
Bro, it's basically same old Arsenal. Nothing much changed really. I mean, we had a couple of changes, and we just didn't show up. The players clearly didn't care. I mean, Arteta, I don't know what. Maybe I don't blame him, but you can clearly tell Arsenal are just not good enough. End of the day, so like it's really hard to draw and lose against teams that you know you can beat. Like how many games that we have lost or drew to teams that we can easily beat and that we should be beating. I think that's the story. This Fulham game is basically the story of our season.
Listen, I watched part of that game, and I can't lie. I'm thinking 2 points drop for Fulham. At times in that game, it seemed like 2 points drop for Fulham.
I know. Sometimes, like there's a like sometimes we had clear chances to score, but we
Mm-hmm.
always struggle scoring goals, creating opportunities. When our best players are not there, we're lacking the
Yep.
cutting edge. Like there's a little bit here and there, everything. You can just tell we just not, and then we get dumped. Then the other team gets chances they should score as well. Like if you be honest, a draw is probably fair result on both ends. Like we were not that great, and Fulham
Mm-hmm.
were not that great either.
Yep. Lauren said it herself. 2 points drop for Fulham. I agree with you, Lauren. That's exactly what I just said. Stafford, let's get through the comments. Let's read them out. Who's in there? Valve, as always. Oh, it's today. Yeah, something happened. I set up the stream, and for some reason it's set up for tomorrow. And I don't know why it's done that. Jose CFC, Mustafa, always here. Big up Mustafa. Lauren's obviously in the comments. Nobody can be for it. Agreed. I don't know how anybody can be for it. Super League is a disgrace. I'm done supporting United if this happens. It's 2 points drop for Fulham. Yeah, we read that one. Yes, the link is in there. So the StreamYard link is in the chat. If you want to come on and have your say, please do so. Valve, I would love to come on, put my parents to sleep in. Okay, if I come on, you will probably see the ugly side of me. Okay, Valve. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. Prime's in the building as well. Latimus Prime. What are you saying, Prime? What's going on? How's your day been?
Um, quite stressful having to deal with annoying situations and problems, but
Annoying
it's fine.
situations.
Problem, yeah, but it's fine. Why?
Just wondering. I was just being polite, man. Just being
No.
polite.
Yeah, I mean, sorry. Never mind. Sorry, I'm just still a bit. What's up?
Just talking it's extra time, innit? Just talking football, just talking we were just talking about the Arsenal Fulham game. What about the should we get into the Super League stuff? What's your thoughts, Prime? Because you have a different outlook to most when you think about things, right? You think about every angle possible. So tell me what you think about this proposed European Super League.
Do you mean what I personally think about it, or from an objective?
Your opinion. What
My
do you think
personal,
about it? You.
my personal opinion, I think, at least for Chelsea anyway, it's quite disgusting that. Okay, we weren't one of the clubs who started this or wanted to create it, but the fact that we're still going along with it is quite disgusting in terms of like the wider world of football. So like from grassroots and Premier League and stuff like that. However, from a selfish football club standpoint,
Yep.
I guess it makes sense because not only do you get more money, but I guess there's an incentive because say we don't want to join it because I don't think the money necessarily makes that much of a difference because Roman's rich anyway. But in terms of if we stay but everyone else leaves, so United's gone, City's gone, Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal, then the Premier League becomes a bit of a monopoly where Chelsea's winning it all the time. And then in terms of the biggest clubs in Europe, like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich will still be there, but the biggest clubs in Europe will also be gone from it as well. So the Champions League become less competitive. So it makes sense to be in it. Now,
Go on.
Sorry, I'm about to go on a bit of a rant about it. From I guess, well, it's not UEFA creating it, but from the big heads, so the biggest teams in the world and stuff. So United and Arsenal and stuff who want to create this league. If they just want to do it in terms of money, I get it. However, in my opinion, this is probably one of the dumbest ways to go about it. And in the long run, it's not going to be that lucrative. I think, look, if you want, there are ways to actually kind of create a Super League or something in the essence of it, that makes sense and would rake in money that fans would somewhat agree with.
Listen, I think games like, because you're a Chelsea fan, right?
Yeah.
And I think games like the West Brom game are what makes the Premier League so special. I don't think there's anything like the Premier League. And we're talking about, people are making the argument that you could have one team dominating the league. I don't think we're about to see that. When I look at football and I see Manchester United. Okay, they're not competing for the title really, but they could be in a couple of years if things go right. You've got Leicester that can take points off of anybody. You've got Man City up there. Chelsea look like they're coming back. Liverpool have just won a title. Who else have I forgot? I forgot someone.
You've got Everton with Ancelotti. Wolves have this amazing project. Aston Villa, if they keep investing properly,
Leicester,
and they keep.
I think it's more competitive than people make out. This isn't like Spain, where you have Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, and one of those three are gonna finish at the top. More than likely, Barcelona or Real Madrid. I don't know how it benefits these teams. I know financially it does, but it's not going to benefit me as a football fan. And also, when you look at it and you see that there's a Spurs going in there. Spurs are going in there. How's that part of a Super League?
But it makes sense because they're taking the best teams
But they're not though, are they?
The best teams are the best clubs from the last maybe decade, because Ajax are not involved in this.
Yeah.
Because even though historically they're one of the biggest clubs ever, but they haven't done much in the last decade. Arsenal haven't done anything in almost 20 years, and they're involved. Man United haven't even in challenge, never mind won a league in 7 years now, 8 seasons. But because it's Man United and because it's Arsenal, they're still involved. And plus, Levy's a money man anyway, so he's always going to be involved.
No, listen, Prom, I get that. But if I see a Super League, I want teams that have won the Champions League. I want teams that have dominated leagues and in their prime. And if you're going to do a Super League, there needs to be a relegation. So, and I don't mean like a normal season relegation, but if you finish in the bottom 2, 3 years in a row, you need to be swapped out. Like I don't like the idea of it, but Gunnar Express, what's your thoughts?
I mean, it's a disgrace if it happens, because I understand that they don't care about the fans, and we've known that for about 20 years. But this is the next level where fans will no longer be remotely important. Fans having to travel to Bayern Munich one week, Barcelona the next week, Paris the next week after that, it's a joke. And a lot of these teams that are based in London, Arsenal especially, we won't be a London team anymore. We could be moved to Berlin next week and then a year later move back to Milan. It is what franchising is, and Kroenke is one of the best for it. He moved the St. Louis Rams to LA. It's what they're trying to do. They're making these clubs to franchises so they can do whatever they want with them. And it just proves again that the fans aren't remotely important anymore. But I just find it slightly ironic that people are backing BT and Sky when they complain about things. They're just as big of a problem. These idiots charge £15 a month so you can watch your team play. It's an absolute joke. Like, we shouldn't have to do that. And the only reason for me why BT and Sky are particularly worried is because DAZN and these kind of out there broadcasting channels like Amazon, for example, will snap up the Super League quicker than Sky. And this is what I'm saying. Football has been ruined for years. Years and years and years it's been ruined. And it's taken this for fans to realise that it's been ruined. And don't get me wrong, the Super League shouldn't happen. But the bigger issue is the owners just having way too much power. You know, I think all teams, when it comes to ownership level, there should be a section of fans that are voted by the fans to sit in the meetings, to sit in the board meetings, to talk with the owner and ask.
I've just seen a tweet from Joel Glazer. Joel Glazer's just saying, bringing the elite clubs together will open new doors for elite.
Well, Fabrizio Romano.
It's okay. Fabrizio Romano's just tweeted 12 football clubs today jointly announced an agreement competition, the Super League. AC Milan, Arsenal, Atletico, Chelsea, Barcelona, International, Juve, Liverpool, Man City, Manchester United, Real Madrid and Tottenham have all joined. 3 more clubs are expected to join as founding clubs before the inaugural season, which is expected to start as soon as possible. In the future, the founding clubs look forward to consulting with UEFA and FIFA in order to work together.
Yeah. I mean, Lauren makes a good point there about the German clubs. No, it's the... Why would
there's a thing with the German clubs. The German clubs,
part fan ownership. There's loads involved for the Germans. But I want to kind of focus on Premier League clubs because we all support Premier League clubs, and I like away days to Burnley. I like going to West Ham's a massive game for anybody. It's still a big game, right?
There's a Chelsea fan.
I'm fuming.
There's a Chelsea fan I know that is in favour for this, and to be fair, when you kind of look into it and deeper, there are, and maybe it is from a selfish point of view, but there are reasons to, I guess, back it, and maybe even from a fan point of view, there are reasons to back it, even if it's selfish or whatever. But I was speaking to a Chelsea fan. And she was like, she's in favour for it. And I was like, why? And she said she doesn't want to play Burnley. So, not playing the lesser.
No, I like that. I like that, Prime.
Do you know what the problem is that, I'm fuming that Chelsea have announced this. They're actually wanting to go near this because the problem is with any Premier League team that has signed with this, the backlash you're going to get from it, from your fans. And they're like, oh, but we're going to go to Asia and have matches in Asia. We're going to have matches in Australia. We're going to have matches in Africa. We're going to have matches in America. And what? You've lost.
Florentino Perez will be the first chairman of the Super League.
Yeah.
Vice chairman John.
They're going to sell it to
the Real Madrid guy.
It's going to be like the NFL. It's going to be NFL. They're going to be having games in China, having games everywhere, except for the UK.
Yeah, but this is my point. They're going to lose money. They're going to lose money from the UK.
The teams are not going to be based. No, but the teams won't be based in the UK. The teams will be based wherever the owners want them to be based. They've done it.
Yeah, but this is my point. It's ridiculous. It's a joke.
With the Rams, they were based in St. Louis. They weren't making enough money, so he moved them to LA. And the St. Louis fans were basically told to go fuck yourselves. That was it. They weren't given any alternative option. So,
I don't get it. But the problem is that in the UK, we give them most of their money. Sorry, I'm not being rude, but we do. They're going to lose shitloads of money. And fun fact is, I'm telling you now, a fan base can rebel. Because let me tell you now, I do not support my team in the Super League. And unfortunately, I don't know if I can support my team in the Super League. And I've supported them for a long ass time. Like, and I don't think I can support them in the Super League because I'm so disgusted. The Premier League, the FA Cup, the Champions League, the Premier League and the FA Cup more so are prestigious UK titles for England. Like, they're prestigious. And the fact that you want to remove them is absolutely disgusting. And for me, Roman Abramovich is one of the most gobbiest out there, doesn't care what he thinks. I didn't think he'd just be a sheep, but turns out he is.
Look,
Yeah.
guys, also the worst thing is, these American owners, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna turn this product into a NFL product. Every minute there's gonna be an ad. Every minute, every time there's gonna be ads
Yeah.
everywhere. These
It's
guys gonna ruin
no,
our sport
literally.
that we love.
No, it's the
Every minute,
commercial league.
it's gonna
And I
it's gonna be
literally,
It's
so
the
bad.
commercial league. Everything about it.
yeah. And you know what? I actually agree with Gary Neville. I never thought I would, but
Mm.
deduct points, remove everything you can from them. Because I'm telling you now, if my team joins this, I'm done. Take everything away from us because it doesn't fucking matter anymore.
Oh no,
You've
it's
basically disowned the Champions League. You've basically disowned the Premier League. You've disowned the FA Cup. All the hard work and everything you've done, and you're disowning it for what? Some Super League because you're going to get 425 million for joining it. It's
But
not
here's the
worth it.
but here's the thing. Say, because the individual leagues need to give you, I guess, you need to accept or whatever, or give like some sort of blessing or whatever, maybe for you to go and do it. If say the Premier League says no, and then the likes of Chelsea, Man City, United, they threaten to leave, then it's a thing of the Premier League might have to do a deal where for them not to leave and join that Super League, they give them more money, which means it ruins. For example, it ruins the likes of Aston Villa, who can keep Jack Grealish. It ruins Declan Rice or West Ham from keeping Declan Rice and possibly improving and challenging. It means now that the biggest teams in the league continue being bigger, and we don't have we
no,
can't
it
have
is.
Sheffield United come up and finish what
We
is it,
know that
less
this is
than
pretty
league.
much happening, right? Everyone on here knows it's pretty much happening, right?
Yeah.
It's not. This
Yeah.
isn't really an idea anymore.
No, it's
Wait,
actually happening.
all the 12
It's
participating
actually
clubs.
gonna.
Wait. All the 12 participating clubs will be excluded from UCL and their domestic leagues of the 2021-22 season.
I'm sorry. I
Bro,
think
guys,
I'm not even
the American
disagreeing with
owners,
this, to be honest.
Imagine it
the
happens and Man
American
City can't
owners
win the
are
Champions League.
poison. Kroenke is a poison. These American owners are poison. We've been trying to tell you for years. These guys are a poison to this, and I'm telling you, you know what they're gonna do? The first thing they're gonna do, they're gonna put in the salary cap. They're gonna milk the players. The players are gonna get screwed as well. The players are gonna get screwed. Do you think, these owners care about the players? They're gonna
Yeah,
go
this
after
is
the players next. They're gonna put a
Oh
salary
no,
cap
they're
in.
assets.
They're
this
gonna
is
They're
put
this
assets.
is
wages
this
Financial
is a
in.
assets.
fair point.
They're
This
gonna
is a
do.
fair point because
They're gonna do
actually
everything in their power.
they
They
have
can do
said that
everything in their power to get money.
anyone joining the Super League will not be playing in the World Cup. Now, let me tell you now, I know every single player in Chelsea that plays in the work that for their national team is not going to want to stop playing for their national team. So then you're going to have problems. Because let me tell you now,
the
anyone
issue there,
anyone
Charlotte.
playing but anyone playing for their national team will not be
No,
allowed.
that's
Like,
fair.
I'm
But
sorry, that's
there's
not a.
one.
If I was a footballer, I'd be like, sorry, you can jog on. I'm leaving the club.
What if and they can do this if the Super League decides to make their own World Cup? They can create
I
their own
don't
national
even want to
teams.
do
They can
this.
create their own World Cups, and that's it. That's what happens. It's a whole mockery to football. It
It's gonna be like the Super
completely
Bowl.
ruins the whole point of football for me. Because there's a local grassroots team that I go and watch, and they have a 15-year plan to reach reach League Two, and they've got plans set out. This completely ruins that because the football pyramid, there is no top level for teams like Atlanta in Italy, teams like Valencia. They've all just been ruined. their fans. Yes, that their fans when they play against Bayern Munich, they know they're going to lose, but they're gassed to watch them play against Bayern Munich. They're not going to see that anymore.
Yeah.
There's no what's the point of being an Atlanta or a Sevilla
But
supporter anymore?
here's
What's the point?
flip side of this. Here's the flip side of this. If all of these clubs are agreeing to this, then maybe the Premier League are going to come back with a counter offer.
Yeah, exactly.
They shouldn't.
The
though.
Premier
As
the
I
Premier League might come back with a counter offer where it's to do with the restructure of the Champions League, whether it's so you'd have a Champions League Super League rather than moving away from the Prem. This is stage one in getting what you want. Is saying, yeah, we all agree to this, because if the elite clubs from the league, right, these are the clubs that everybody watches. They get the most views. Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, Spurs, maybe Chelsea, definitely. These are the clubs that get the TV viewers. We got the most fans, right? So if you're the clubs and you're saying we're not going to be part of the Premier League anymore, the Premier League still wants to make that money. You're not going to quadruple your West Ham or your Wolves fans overnight. Not that West Ham and Wolves don't have a lot of fans, but you know what I'm trying to say. They're going to come back with a counter offer, whether they go through with that.
I think
There's
the
gonna
Premier
be-
League need to sue these other clubs because they are on the contract by the TV deal is the contract, so they're not allowed to leave and just make their own league. I think
I
they
don't know about the
honestly,
contracts.
there must
I don't
be
know about the
something.
contracts.
There
Whether the
must be
contract is
something in that contract that says you're not allowed to leave and make your own club. There must be something.
No,
There
because
must be something
with
because
the contracts that the TV, like the Premier League TV deals, is for teams in the Premier League. So, for example, if say Man United want to leave the Premier League, or if Man United get relegated tomorrow, they're no longer contracted to TV deals in the Premier League. So it'd be the same. It'd kind of be the same reason if say United left the Premier League, they're not contracted to anything in the Prem because they're not a Premier League club anymore.
Wow.
they can ruin football,
I just
man.
think it's just disgusting. And you know what? You know what will just happen? This will call, for example, if they do this European Super League, yeah, who do you think it might be Europe's elite clubs, but it won't be the elite teams because the likes of say Spurs, Arsenal, United, three teams who don't invest properly anyways, they will be probably some of the worst teams in the competition anyway. So it'll get to a point where 10 or 20 years later, let's create another league with the best teams from this league. United are not going to be part of it because in 20 years' time, United won't be this great dominant United club that we all know and love. You will be probably one of the United will probably be an average club that was once great 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, listen, people, please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the
Chelsea.
channel if you are new. Link is in the description if you want to come on and have your say, or please just post a comment if you're watching the playback. Ram.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. What's your thoughts? I seen you on the terrace earlier, but now they've made a statement, and you've got Perez as president, Joel Glazer as vice president. By the way,
all the Premier League teams are starting to put their own announcements out. By the way,
but what gets me is Joel Glazer, a guy who has ruined the biggest club in English football. Been part of ruining the biggest club in English football, who has no football knowledge at all, has only recently just put in a director of football and a technical director because he was sick of throwing money at the problem to get into Champions League football. I think is ridiculous.
UEFA say every club and player participating in the Super League will be banned from all UEFA and FIFA competitions. UEFA will sue every club participating 50 to 60 billion euros each.
Wait, is that official?
Wait, say that again.
So UEFA say every club and player participating in the Super League will be banned from all UEFA and FIFA competitions. UEFA will sue every club participating 50 to 60 billion euros.
And that's official.
That's what Sky Sports have just said.
When does that come into effect?
They haven't said that
That's
yet.
when they've done. That's when they will participate. So when they've created it and start.
So the players will be banned as well. It won't just be the teams now. The whole players as well.
This league won't come into effect for another, 2-3 years?
No, well, that's the thing. Another report saying, I don't know how true this one is, they're saying that all the teams that are involved are going to be excluded from UEFA and the Premier League from the 2021-22 season.
Yeah, they're not going to allow.
So they're just not going to be in the Premier League anymore.
That's the thing. That's the thing. If something says that they confirm they're going to do it, and it will be done within the next 3 years, I'm guessing within that 3-year period, they still won't be allowed to perform in like the UEFA Conference League, the UEFA Champions League, the UEFA Europa League, the European Championships, the FIFA World Cup, Club World Cup, and the World Cup as well.
Bayern Munich have joined the 12 founding teams. Leipzig will follow. FC Porto could be a surprise.
That's fake. That's fake.
That's fake. That's fake. Bayern Munich said no, they won't do it.
No, they've said that. The sporting director has been trying to get a yes, and they've just reported now saying that they've given their yes. Leipzig will follow.
No. Trust me, it was a parody account tweeting it. It was a parody account.
Hang on a second. Here's the thing. If these other clubs all agree to it, and they go into this Super League, and the money is better, and footballers want to play in that league, these other teams will follow suit. They will do that. That's bound to happen.
Well, yeah. If Bayern and PSG join, it's over completely, 100%.
Super League statement here. Thank you, Valve. 12 of Europe's leading football clubs have today come together to announce they agreed to establish a new midweek competition, the Super League, governed by its founding clubs, which is bollocks. That's just crazy, I think.
Wait, midweek?
What they're saying the plan is to have it midweek, and then they still participate in the Premier League. Yet the Premier League basically said, no, you're not doing that because that breaks the rules.
What else I've got on here? Milan, Arsenal, Atletico, Chelsea, Barcelona, Inter, Juventus, Liverpool, City, United, Real Madrid, and Tottenham have all joined. And then we've got, in the future, the founding clubs look forward to consulting with UEFA and FIFA in order to work together. I mean,
every big account saying Bayern Munich are accepting to participate. Every big account.
Have any of you got Joel Glazer's statement? Because that would be quite good to hear.
Indiana, the Super League in general, when it was first presented as an idea to replace the Champions League, I wasn't necessarily against it because I feel like it could.
Me neither.
Eventually, there's going to be a reform of it in some sort of way. But how the Premier League have said no, it puts us all in a position where we're fucked. Because
I have Joe Glazer's statement. I can read it when Bill's
either our clubs are going to get fined, sued, they're going to deduct points or whatever, or we're going to have to break away from the Premier League. Yeah.
No, it's true. They're going to express this. Let's hear the new vice president knows fuck all of football.
So Joe Glazer, the co-chairman of Man United and vice chairman of the Super League, said, by bringing together the world's greatest clubs and players to play each other throughout the season, the Super League will open a new chapter for European football, ensuring world-class competition and facilities and increased financial support for the wider football pyramid.
I'd like to know how that increased financial support is going to happen.
That's another problem, Indiana. I don't want these fuckwits controlling and being in charge of the tournament as well.
Yeah, that's mad. Listen, how can you have people? So how can you have a Real Madrid chairman and a Manchester United vice chairman in control of the league in a way?
Bro, it's like the NFL.
But that's just mad.
The owners are in charge of the league.
Yeah, I know, but it's madness. It's madness because Perez might be slightly different, but Joe Glazer, he knows fuck all. Literally fuck all.
There's a petition. Can we actually do this? Can we like have a petition to stop that?
Yeah. If
You would
we
think
all
they
stand
would,
together, we
They've
can.
just said that. They've just said players will be banned from playing for their country if they partake in the league.
That's
Guys,
what I mean.
we have a
listen,
choice. We need to stick with UEFA, the less of two evils. I mean, it's the less of two evils. I mean, I know UEFA is evil, but they're the less of two evils. I think
I'm
as
really
fans, you have
surprised.
a power.
I'm so shocked that they've done it just like this instantly. Because
Yeah,
wait, you would
Sorry,
think though that they would slowly reform it over time to make it not seem as drastic. You know, in the past like 20 years, what they've done with technology, for example, I guarantee when like, for example, Amazon Echoes, it listens to your conversations. I guarantee before technology was as advanced, if you had something that listened to you and could track you, people wouldn't want it. But over time, technology's changed slightly over a long period of time, so people have got used to it. That's how I thought they'd do this, because they know that if they slowly change it over time, each stage will become a bit more familiar to it, and it won't feel like it's changed, although it has. Maybe that's, to be fair, I've just said that. I've just realised maybe that's what they've tried to do for the past few years. So now when they do it, it doesn't feel like anything's changed, but it is.
they're only doing this because, or maybe it's because it's fast track, because the past year there's been no fans to appease it. Like, if
Yeah, but
fans were
here's,
still
do you know what I'd like to see?
Yeah, but if fans were still in stadium, do you not think our voices would be heard?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because as much as we can tweet on Twitter or we could talk about this
Doesn't
on
do
our
anything.
YouTube channels or anything,
No.
like,
But
they won't actually hear it.
here's what I'd like
This
to
Stan
see.
Kroenke brother, yeah, is a fucking dickhead, man. They've just tweeted out saying Stan Kroenke has given a message to Florentino Perez. Thank you for bringing us this victory that will change football for good.
Do you know what?
Yeah,
Listen,
but not
do
on
you know
about
what I'd like
NFL.
to see?
This guy's a fucking knob.
I would like to see players refusing to play.
There's been
I
tweets saying Arsenal
genuinely
players are already doing that, but I don't know. I don't think it's true yet.
I
but-
genuinely
Indiana.
would like to see the
Indiana,
players
I'm not saying
walk
this
out.
in a bad way. I think we all need to say no to this for the better of the league. I know it's just a
Go
Twitter,
support a local team.
but you
Go
never
support a
know.
local
You
team.
never know. A little bit can change a lot. A little bit can change a lot. Even us on the Twitter, we are home. Even if big accounts and big Twitter, if Twitter is against it, if the people are against it, end of the day, they will have no choice but to stay in the league. They will have no choice. I know it's hard, and I know people do not believe it, but these owners, they think they got the power. The fans got the power, and they will realize that, hopefully. And when the fans are back in, the fans are going to be... If the fans were there, they will never do this. They will never have the balls to do this. But since the fans are out, they have the balls to do it. They are lucky. These guys are snakes. Kroenke out. Glazers out. All of them need to go.
But the thing is, can I I'll come in,
Go on,
okay?
go on.
They've won. Except now, Stan Kroenke, the Glazer, they have won at this game. There's no
But
more we
again,
can do. They've
But
won.
the
Yeah,
thing
they
is,
haven't won yet.
It's not just a thing
I've-
people can say Stan Kroenke or like, for example, Chelsea didn't create this, but we're just as bad, if not worse, because we should be saying something.
You're endorsing it, man.
Yeah,
The
so
endorser
it's just
in
bad.
history, the endorser's always been shown to be just as bad as the creator. It's as simple as that. I think every club that's signed up to do it should be actually ashamed of themselves. I don't know about these reports about Bayern Munich. I know that I've seen the articles about the sporting director, but I think the most important thing is that the chairman. I feel as though the chairman doesn't want it to happen because
They're
Rummenigge-
very fan involved as well.
Yeah.
They are
They're very fan
like-
involved.
Like, you think about it, the team, the whole club is run by former players.
Did you talk about the
And then-
news, Ram? That all clubs who accepted him will be non-eligible for Europa League and Champions League next season.
And Premier League as well.
And
And
Premier
League.
Ugh.
All FIFA and UEFA related competitions they will not be able to participate in.
So we're never going to see. This is what I'm saying.
Sam Kroenke
For
got
me,
us, bro.
we need to look at these kind of players like Saka, Smith Rowe, Greenwood, Foden, Mount, all these different players, because these lot have to make a decision now. You're young players, you either stick in that league and earn a bollock ton of money, or you drop out go to a team like West Ham, go to a team like Aston Villa, play for your national team, and still earn good money. They need to pick that. That's their decision to make now.
Gooner Express. The thing is, if all these top clubs, so all the top clubs in Spain, the top clubs in Italy, England, wherever, if they will have the top players, right? 9 times out of 10, they got the top players playing for them. The top players play international football, so they'll start their own type of World Cup. Listen, here's the thing: do you want to go and watch Jesse Lingard in a World Cup, or Messi and Ronaldo?
Jesse Lingard.
Messi and Ronaldo. Come on.
Do you know what I mean? Like this, they'll get the pool. They'll start their own internationals.
Founding clubs will receive an amount of 3.5 billion euros solely to support their infrastructure, investment plans, and to offset the impact of the COVID pandemic.
I got a question for you guys as well. What does it mean for us?
Fucking Christ.
What does it mean for these YouTube channels? Do it affect us in any way?
What do you mean?
Like, does it benefit us more, or I'm just wondering?
I don't think it makes a difference.
It makes a difference to smaller content creators, like, for example, West Brom fans that like to do collaborations with bigger clubs.
It's true.
Yeah, exactly.
The only difference it would make to the bigger clubs is instead of having like a Premier League show, you're gonna have a Super League show. So.
Yeah.
Bro, it's gonna be diluted. It's gonna be so diluted. We're gonna play Real Madrid every weekend. It's gonna.
So
be
you're telling me,
diluted.
you're telling me in our last ever Premier League Football League season, we're gonna
Wait,
finish now?
when did someone? You realize this isn't going to happen in 2 to 3 years because Juventus, the event, you know, the ECA. Juventus have just quit the ECA, and Andrea Agnelli, who is the Juventus president, has just resigned as its chairman and also resigned from the UEFA Executive Committee.
Wow.
So basically, they're doing it now. They're doing it
now.
That's the thing. That's what I was going to say. Hang on one second. If this is true, what the Premier League is saying, this happens next season.
Yep.
It happens straight away.
So you're telling me this is the last?
What are they going to do? Pay players wages for 2 years until they can set up the league? No, they'll go next year.
So you're telling me, is this our last ever seasons in the Premier League, as we know it? It's our last ever seasons in the European UEFA competition.
It depends if the Premier League is the whole point of, if the Premier League gives them an offer they can't refuse. It's just simple as that.
Listen,
this whole time is going to be an endless cycle of negotiations between the Premier League.
It's crazy.
It's true. Right. Do you know what? If I was the Premier League, they should. I don't think there's any stopping it now. They might as well just negotiate something that can work for both parties because it's done. They've tried to stop it. They're not going to stop it because, as you said, the bigger names, they're not going to be able to afford to. They're not going to be able to afford to lose all the big names. Bro, and this is what I mean. The Premier League as well. The Premier League should have some shame as well because they don't care about the fans like they claim to be. As I think Sahal said, it's the lesser of two evils. The Premier League don't give a shit about the fans. They just want money for themselves. So they can fuck themselves as well.
This has been happening since the Premier League. This whole thing of money being brought into football has all been happening since the Premier League was called the Premier League. When the first division was
Fergie called it, didn't he?
And it's called the Premier League. It's as simple as that. And the whole system where the top tier clubs such as Liverpool, Arsenal, United, they've always wanted to have control over the Football Association in England. It's as simple as that.
It's true. Listen, hang on 1 second. People, please smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Link is in the description if you want to come on and have your say. The other big news is that Leicester are now the favourites to win the FA Cup. They'll probably do that. And small team and the small mentality in front of them.
Wait, Indiana, real quick. We got teams that are excluded from their domestic leagues in case of deciding to come back will start their competition from the 5th category in their country. In England, the league leaders for the National League are Hartlepool United. So if Arsenal, United, City, Chelsea, Liverpool, or Tottenham wanted to return, they'd be semi-pro. They wouldn't even be a professional football team anymore.
Wait, what?
So this is a massive gamble.
Wait, what did you say?
If clubs that are excluded from their domestic leagues want to return back from the Super League, they'll be put into the 5th category of their country. So even in France, Italy, it's the 5th category.
which for them is even worse.
I've said this.
That's the level I used to play at. It's not a great level.
It's semi-pro. It's the highest level of semi-professional football.
This is
Rihanna,
where
can I
you
ask
have.
Prime a question? Can I ask Prime a question? Because everyone here that supports other clubs, they hate their own for what they've done. Prime, where do you sit with Roman Abramovich right now?
I explained it when I came. Do you want my personal point of view as
your
Prime,
personal
or
point
in
of
terms?
view? Yeah.
Me personally, I do not agree with this. I think because if Chelsea were not the founding members of doing this, so I think we.
Wait a second. Chelsea, no, stop this. Chelsea are not the founding members of this, so we take no blame. Fuck off.
That's not what.
No.
I've
heard this
That's
twice
not what
today.
I was going to say. And I just when I came on the stream, I'm about to say what I just said when I came on the stream. Anyway, and I didn't say.
If you're going to say we're just as bad, then I apologise.
But I said that when I first came in.
Yeah, but I thought you were changing your mind.
No, I wasn't changing my mind.
You know how like myself and Indiana are feeling right now after certain people talked about.
Yeah, but again, I'm not certain people because we spoke privately, and I don't feel that way. But anyway, I think hold on. Even though we're not founding members of doing it, I think we should still come out and be against this, because if I don't know, is it a thing of are we just doing it because it's also a financial gain? In which case, I think then why aren't we one of the clubs that want to do it from the start?
You're doing it.
It just makes me think that I don't know. Is it a thing that we're doing this because we don't also want to be left behind as well, or something? I don't know.
That's exactly what it is.
From a personal point of view, personal, I mean in terms of the club, not me. I kind of understand it, but it's a selfish way of doing. There's other ways to do this and make money. This is just a selfish way.
I mean, Sam Lee from the Athletic said that Chelsea and Manchester City were backed up into a corner and pressured. So
I heard from what I'm hearing, Man City were actually the last ones to it. Now look at Man City's money. Like, they've got unlimited money. You would think that they would at least try to recruit that, but they actually just love the game. They were the last ones to actually accept this whole deal. Now, what that tells me is that they were more than pressured into this kind of decision. I mean, imagine Manchester City amongst flipping West Ham and Leicester. I mean, no disrespect to those teams there. They're obviously big in their own rights for what they've done in the previous.
It'd be a laugh
in their previous history.
It'd be like they won't be respected. Do you know what it tells me? It tells me it's 100% happening. Because there's no getting away from it. That's what it tells me.
I'll tell you how I know it. I'll tell you a big thing how I know this is happening right now. Okay, so they've come out and they've said that Manchester United and Real Madrid are spearheading the thing. Then just behind it, you've got Arsenal with the American owners. You've got you hardly really hear any talk of Abramovich or the Man City owners. Obviously, we know that Bayern have said no, but I heard you guys just saying that obviously they've just been included into it. PSG have said no. Look at their owners, bro. They've got unlimited cash resources, and they've said no. So that lets you know.
But hold up. When we bring a PSG something, you need to also bear in mind, because this is not like a closed thing. And the same with PSG, bear in mind that like the Qatar World Cup is next year. So bear with those Qatari owners thinking about how they're going to benefit. Yeah, exactly. True. So let's like there's an element of like, because I've had time to think about this, and obviously my personal opinion is that this is a very, very bad idea. Sony was a bad nature of comparisons of football. What I would say though to the whole situation is that fundamentally this whole thing is inevitable anyway, the way that football is going. Yeah. And right now, with a lot of people against it, it's like, okay, there's a lot of emotion and stuff, but no one really has actually said what the plan opposite direction is otherwise. Whether it's like we're going to now go back to 50% fan ownership and 50% club ownership, or whether we're going to now say, you know what, let's put a cap on FFP or whatever. No one's saying that. So actually what will happen is, even if this is delayed or stopped now, you're only going to be delaying it for another maybe year, another 3 years, another 5 years, because where football's gone, because people forget, let's be real, the Premier League was formed based on what's happening now. It was the English.
Yeah, true. True.
They sold to money or sponsorship deals, etc. and that's why you have the big six in the first place.
100%. I'll tell you this though. To go back to Indiana's point about it's definitely happening. I'll tell you this now, right? Because you know who the founding people were, the ones in the Premier League. So we obviously know that was Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, and whoever in it. Like
they were the first big three. They were the big. They were the
first ones, right? Here's the scary thing about this now, right? They obviously know that if them 4 teams actually turn around and say, all right, you know what, cool, we won't do that no more, or because it don't make this sense and because our players can't go to the World Cup, fine, we'll stick around, yeah. Right now, there are certain clubs like Arsenal and United that think referees have an actual agenda against us. Referees and UEFA and the FA have an actual agenda against us. Do you understand the genuine hate that will come from actually these footballing governing bodies moving down into? I mean, we think that
they're not going to. They're getting £500 million to sign this thing. They're not going to care what people.
I'm just saying. You know, in case there's some sort of reform or U-turn or anything, and then we try to actually return back to the Premier League. Do you understand how much shit these clubs are actually in now for even trying to break away from their respective leagues?
But the point is, like, and this is the thing, like we're actually focusing right now on the negatives for the big clubs, but we're not even actually looking at the potential negatives. And that's why this is a war, because you're right, that could be the case, but what about the financial implications for now the remaining clubs, for the reputation of the Premier League? Think of the amount of money that the Premier League and Serie A will hemorrhage, will completely, because like, I don't know how, I know football's a global sport, I get it, but I don't necessarily think, we need to be real. Do you think that the Manchester United Chinese fan base are going to be like, yeah, we're going to now do glazed out protests? Really? Or they're going to be like, right, I want to see Manchester United play against Real Madrid. Africa, same thing. Like, let's just think outside of our like UK sort of thing where we are. Think about the global thing. They're not going to care. So the reality is, the Premier League, Serie A, the UEFA, etc. Okay, you're going to say the players aren't going to. You're going to ban Mbappe and Ronaldo from Messi from going to the UEFA. Okay, cool. So who's going to watch? And then the advertisement response, etc. So it's a game. True. So like you can be hard, but are you now going to take? Because the thing is, what I think might happen, and sorry I'm ranting on here, is that let's say they go ahead with this, I wouldn't be surprised if smaller clubs, when they now feel the financial hit of those clubs going, because they're not going to get the same revenue, go, guys, do something to get them back, because we're now not getting the same money that we were getting for being in the Premier League. Give them what they want, just so that we can get what we want.
I don't know though, man, because when certain clubs needed an actual bailout because of the coronavirus thing, do you know how much clubs just turned around and said no? Like they were only asking for 50 grand.
But do you know do you know how much already existing that they get? Like 20th place in the Premier League from relegation still gets more than what first or second in the Championship. That's going to disappear. That's going to decimate.
Well, I was even reading the report earlier, like, and I heard Saeed say it on the stream earlier as well, right? Do you actually know how much you get for winning the Carabao Cup?
750,000.
Nah, bro, 100k.
Nothing.
100k. Do you know how much you get for winning the FA Cup?
1.2 mil.
That is fucking bro.
It doesn't pay the wages for the week.
That's a wage. That is a wage, and that's not a wage for flipping West Brom. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is bro. You work your ass off to win one cup, and you get 1 million.
No, that won't pay the bills at West Brom for a week. That won't pay the bills at West Brom. There's more than just the players to pay for. It won't pay the bills. It's not.
That's what I'm trying to say. Even a smaller club, that's more for them. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it is appalling, bro, how much you win for winning these cups. Like, and there are certain people that are dying to just play in them, just so they can get the revenue from, like, I don't know, Lincoln Town playing flipping Manchester United. You know what I mean? On a away leg, like, just for that kind of revenue, that TV money, that they live on that. Do you know what I mean? And these lot are just saying, "Now, fuck them." So I truly believe I can see the lower team saying, "No, you know what? Fuck them. Fuck them." I don't even think they would.
Yeah, but but then they'll die. They'll die out. This is the thing. This is what's going to happen. So that they will. That's why I'm saying that. Like this, I know people say, "Well, the small club's going to fight back, etc." But the practical reality is that the money from the revenue from the access to these fans, whereas the sponsorship, is going to go, and these small clubs that are already Bear in mind, these clubs are losing these. If the bigger clubs have been losing billions of pounds during COVID, what the smaller clubs have been losing. So now you're going to take
true.
It is right now. It's probably a 50-50 words thing, and I think that like the longer there has to be some compromise. I don't think if this is going to be stopped, you can simply just go back to the status quo. There has to be some element where you've got to say, okay, we can work something out. Because if people think that they'll be able to just go back without this happening again sometime in the future, it's
RDS, they're not going to want to go back.
I don't see that.
If they can make this happen, why would they want to go back? You've got the clubs with control of the league. It's not. They're not going to go back.
I heard it was from the American owners that wanted they wanted a little bit more security in the Champions League. They want the the extra, the new rules that are coming out. They want the 2 spots to go to the Premier League, basically. Those extra 4 spots.
Yeah. So a lot of this actually came out from the reform of the Champions League. So that's a fair point. So I think people forget that UEFA were trying to reform the Champions League with this whole league system, and arguably the Champions League reforms, if we're honest, when I look at it, I can see why they don't really benefit the top teams, because additional spots are really to anybody really.
The spots, I think, I just on the spots. I think the spots are mainly given to, I think one of them, the Netherlands, to Scotland, I think Belgium as well. Yeah. It's not for the big teams. It's for it's not for the top 5 countries. It's for the other countries across.
I think Netherlands only get like 2 teams in the Champions League anyway, isn't it?
I think they're going to get 4 now.
Okay.
So basically, that's why they said the American owners want more spaces. They want more teams in the Premier League to play in the Champions League. They want 6 teams to go in the European spots. So this is all greed. They want money.
No, I don't even think it's that. I think they want a bigger chunk of. Okay, so these times when you would have Arsenal, fucking hell, Jesus, not Arsenal. God, Jesus Christ, not Arsenal. Let's say Chelsea versus.
For anyone who doesn't know, that he supports Arsenal, by the way.
I support Arsenal. Proud
Chelsea versus Real Madrid, someone like that.
No, I was going to say a smaller club, so like Chelsea versus Olympiacos, right? We know that the majority of people that would be tuning into that would pretty much be a Chelsea fan base, right? Yet still, they're splitting that with the Olympiacos.
Yeah,
they're splitting that 50-50. Now, Chelsea are probably looking at that. And again, I'm looking at Chelsea as the good ones in this whole little circle of European league, because I'm guessing that they got forced into this whole thing kind of thing because they're in fear of being left behind. But in terms of that, they're with the bigger clubs that are trying to do this breakaway league and stuff like that, they're looking at it and saying, why do we have to split the TV money 50-50 when we are bringing in 90% of the viewers and the fans that would be tuning in for this game? We want a bigger cut.
Yeah, but Chelsea will be picking it up from Real Madrid.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I get it. But this is why I would even say I don't think it's someone like Chelsea that would be doing it. Again, it's the major teams that are putting in these kind of things. I mean, the Real Madrid versus Manchester United, that should be 50-50 down the middle. Do you know what I mean? Because all of England will be watching that and all of Spain will be watching it kind of thing. But then when you got the smaller teams, like Young Boys FC or whatever they're called, like they would not be bringing in the same amount of viewers that Manchester United or Real Madrid would be bringing in. So now these clubs are looking at it saying, right, we want 70% of that TV money. Don't split it 50-50 because Young Boys are only bringing in 20,000 people viewing that across the world.
Not even just TV money, but also you've got to think about like advertising revenue as well. So because
even the shirt sponsors and stuff like that AIA and all of them kind of things. Like
so what are the biggest positives about this?
Ooh,
what are the biggest? There must be some, right?
I don't think there are any, bro.
None.
I mean, think about it, like. It's not like I even heard just now. You guys said, who was it that asked? Samuel. Samuel said, "How would this affect the YouTube people?" I'll tell you how it would affect YouTube people. It would affect people like AFTV because they fly out and they go to every single Arsenal game, home or away, wherever, what country it is. Like these men won't be able to do that anymore, bro. Not as much as, especially not your DTs.
I think that'd be all right. I think they make enough money to do that.
And also,
really?
and also how many views do they really get from AFTV flying over to? I bet you the lubrication from Bayern got more views than them getting bantered by Olympiacos.
That's a good point. Because I think every single interview probably hit over 1 million views on that 5-2 defeat of Bayern.
And also, we've got to think globally here. Like, think of it like as well. Like, think of like if I'm like, let's say I'm streaming it in Europe. Let's say I'm in Uruguay, for example. Is Uruguay the national network? Are they really going to be streaming Arsenal versus Olympiacos, or are they going to be streaming to get the maximum Arsenal versus Real Madrid?
Real Madrid, yeah. No, I get you.
Do that. What I'm trying to say is like we've got to think beyond like our local vicinity and the fact that like in a global. Because this is what the Glazers, this is what Kroenke, this is what these guys, this is what they're thinking about. They're not thinking about Arsenal FC, Arsenal the Emirates. They're thinking of Arsenal FC Worldwide Incorporated.
And so how does that work then? Okay, explain it, because there is still blurred lines for me. So they're not just going to be at that. All right, so it says Arsenal versus Real Madrid, right? Is it going to be Arsenal at home in the Emirates versus Real Madrid? Or is it going to be in some random country being played?
So I think they're deciding whether they're going to play in a neutral sort of venue. But I think
what kind of shit is this, bro? This does not make sense, man.
I think the whole point of this competition was supposed to, for them, replace the in-quote Champions League. I think they still assume they were going to play in domestic leagues as it is. So the domestic league, they're still going to. Basically, it was like, we're going to just play in our separate league on Wednesdays and Tuesday nights like we normally. We're not going to play in the Champions League anymore. We're still going to go and play the Premier League. So in theory, it shouldn't really affect much. But obviously, the Premier League is now like, we're not going to do that.
So that means they're directly going up against the Champions League. Yeah. They're going to be putting on the matches at the exact same days and times as the Champions League.
Yeah.
Bro,
but no one's this is what I'm saying. How many viewers are the Champions League going to get?
Nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Unless
unless
PSG are playing Bayern, I think that's about it, right?
Yeah, but then this is what goes back to Gunnar Express's point now, because when he was saying that Bayern have just signed up to, but I can see them being like, do you know what, guys?
I think they'll follow suit.
I think they would have. They're gonna have to do it, bro. They have to do it.
Yep. The other thing as well is that, like, I don't think that this is necessarily a closed league, if that makes any sense. So
so that's what they're saying, though. They're saying no one can get in and no one can come out.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, like, as in, like, I don't think that's like necessarily set in stone in terms of it's just that it's going to be more of a dictatorship. So there probably will be a possibility for certain other teams to maybe be considered later down the line, and that potentially might incentivize people.
But you know how that only works? That only works when a club gets either bought out by a billionaire owner that can now afford to actually meet the criteria of the money that is expected to be earned to get into that league. That's the only reason. Do you know how embarrassing it is as an Arsenal fan to be considered into this while we are in 9th place and busting our ass to win the Europa League with a manager that just come in and a board that don't know what the fuck they're doing?
It's embarrassing.
Outrageous,
it's embarrassing, but it's logical, because it's like, if you actually combine, if you look at all the teams that are there and then combine all the fans of those teams, it probably, let's be real, it probably constitutes 90% of all football fans.
Yeah, that's true.
If you combine them all,
still.
Basically taken 90% of all football fans and said, right, here you go, you're going to get that, and that's it. And then 10%, okay, you can focus on something else. So, you know, Arsenal Football Club is a logical decision, because Arsenal Football have is probably like, the 4th or 5th.
Yeah, no, we've got a lot of fans. Yeah, I know, I get it. But that, Intel, when you really look at it, bro, like, I mean, these are the kind of things that, even that Spurs are in it, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, Spurs, you know? Like, I mean, I know they're above us and that, but Jesus Christ, bro. Look at, bro, I'm telling you, today, I've heard every single fan channel banter us, saying, how on earth are Arsenal in this? And the worst thing is, I can't disagree with it. I've got no fight. I've got no fight left in me. I understand it. Why are we even in this conversation? We have not finished top 4 for the last 3 to 4 years, bro. Like we are like literally we have fallen deeper and deeper and deeper down the table to even the fact that we are fighting with Leeds and Aston Villa. Don't forget, they've got history, you know. They might not have as much money, but they've got history, bro, and they've got fans. Like,
yeah, it's true.
Well,
they're above us. They're above us. Do you know what the mad thing is, right? You talk about all these big European sides coming together. What about the likes of Ajax? Why can't they have why can't they be allowed to?
Ajax,
they're probably
team.
They're probably the biggest, one of the biggest teams in Europe, and they can't do anything. The Netherlands league, the Dutch league is not that illustrious. Is not rich. It's not like the Premier League or Serie A. No one watches it. But because of where Ajax is from, they can't have a say in this. But
how many Ajax fans are there globally, though?
Yeah, and that's the difference right there. Is the Super League really is just capitalizing on the globalization of footballing brands, and not necessarily clubs. And that's the hard part of like the Champions League. At least had players kind of come into the competition, not players, but had teams come into the competition on merit of the success of a previous season or previous seasons.
Just read the comment.
Don't forget to put water in it first, bro.
Let me ask you guys a question. What's worse?
Yeah.
What's worse? The fact that this all the fact that this all happens, and all the news comes in one day, or the fact that it was just such a. I feel like the fact that it surprised us is more of the fact that like this is such a shock to us.
I mean, they've been talking about it for years, right?
Yeah, it's not surprising.
So it's not a surprise.
They've been talking about it for years, but they never actually showed any concrete
evidence.
So I'm going to quick point actually. Do you remember, like, and I remember this film, I'm sure people forgot this. Bartomeu, when Bartomeu left, when Bartomeu was ousted out, he said, "Listen, guys, we've agreed with a Super League, it's done." And people bantered him, and people said, "Oh, blah, 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 yes, you're leaving, you screwed up Barcelona, whatever." But like, he wasn't as serious. It got tweeted. I remember his words. It was like, dead serious. It's done. It's sorted. It's agreed. You'll hear from it soon. Here we are. So it was there. It's just people just ignored it because they were like,
they didn't think it was going to happen, bro.
It was going to happen.
Bro, I made an interesting point the other day, earlier, and I said that don't forget, right? Like a lot of these businessmen that have bought these clubs recently, right? And you know, I mean, we look at it last year that Stan Kroenke took 100% ownership from of Arsenal, innit? Like, so he bought out all the shares from all like the fringe shareholders and stuff like that. Yeah. When you look at it, we was all looking at it like at the time, we was like, oh yeah, he cares. He's gonna pump money into the club and he's gonna do this and he's gonna do that. And then you see news of today now, the finalization of what's actually happening. You actually see that, nah. He's bought the club outright 100% to benefit from this. Bro, he's a vice chairman. Stan Kroenke is a vice chairman of a league.
No, it's worse than that.
Yeah.
It's Kroenke and Joel Glazer.
Yeah.
They're vice chairmen. They're vice chairman, bro.
Can you imagine them working together?
Fam, what the actual fuck? They don't know football. They don't care about football, bro.
Is this true? Has anyone got anything on this? Apparently Bayern Munich accepted.
That's what Guna was saying. Guna, are you still there, mate? Is Guna Express still there?
Also, has anyone seen FIFA statements? FIFA statement is pretty much basically summarized as like, we don't care.
Yeah,
which is quite interesting because it's like everyone's saying, "Oh, FIFA going to ban, and they're going to do this, and they're going to do that," but actually, the FIFA statement is actually like, we want to promote fairness, but there's literally nothing to say that they're going to do anything aggressive or anything like that. It's just we want to promote an idea of fairness, but that basically means, yeah, it's not our problem.
So it's only a thing for clubs that can benefit from the money that they can get from it, like how owners can benefit from it. So it's like so for example, if you're Manchester City or Chelsea, it doesn't matter if you agree to this being a thing or not, because you don't need the money. But a club like Arsenal, who can't be in the Champions League and therefore can't benefit from money from being in the competition, needs the Super League to be able to gain revenue from European competition. Because and the crazy thing too is like, this is greed in football taking advantage of where we are as a world during a pandemic. This is the best time for them to launch it.
Oh, definitely. There's no fans in the stadium. No one's making noise.
No fans in the stadium. People aren't going to come outside and like riot or protest because they're all like COVID conscious. Like it's a disgrace. It really is.
I'll tell you what makes it worse with that. It's not even so much that. It might have even been that this COVID thing with no fans in the stadium, only staying at home, watching the games and so, that was a trial run. That was the best trial run of a European Super League that they could ever hope for, because they've still made their money. Arsenal have released kits every 2 months or every month or whatever. They have made so much money during the pandemic when they was meant to lose so much. They took out bank loans and all that. Do you know how much money Arsenal must have made during this whole pandemic stuff? Everyone's looking at it like, you know what, yeah, although the fans weren't in the stadium, imagine when we get European fans. So even everyone still at home in London or in England or so, still watching their games, like die-hard fans, still staying up late to watch the games and will still get their revenue.
Do you know what's mad? Do you know what's mad, dude? Is the fact that there's no relegation, and they're talking about players not being able to play in the Premier League. What does this mean in terms of movement of players as well? Because let's, as a Man United fan, I'm going to use Jesse Lingard for an example.
Yeah.
So Jesse Lingard's a Manchester United player, and hopefully he's looking for a move to West Ham, and West Ham are looking to buy him. Would West Ham be allowed to buy a player?
Oh, fucking hell. Jesus.
They might ban transfers to. I would suspect that the Premier League will probably ban, or the UEFA at some point will try and ban transfers too. It's going to be difficult because FIFA technically are the ones that kind of overarch things, and they seem to not really care. So I'd suspect there'd be some push to ban transfers from non-Super League clubs to Super League clubs.
Bang on. Who's this? Gagandeep. Bang on. Exactly what I was just saying. You don't need the fans in the stadium to make this much level of money. Just add the fans on top afterwards. Sorry, bro.
But I know that's the same point. But that was logical because, like, majority of the fans for these clubs don't go to stadiums weekly anyway. They're watching sports in China. They're watching it in America and stuff like that. So that was always. That's why I was saying at the start, like, people need to get out of this kind of local club thing. And I know that's great. That's
no, it's true. It's true what you're saying.
You're right. And I think you do have to start thinking about teams in terms of their globalization more so now, especially a lot of the teams that have agreed to be like a part of the Super League, for example. Like they transcend their countries that they're in. A lot of those teams do. So it's important. So if you are Stan Kroenke and you're looking at your current Arsenal side and like their status in the Premier League right now, and you're saying, well, we can't benefit from the Champions League because we're not in it, but we kind of transcend our country and our continent and how big we are. If there's an opportunity for you to get on a European stage and make money as a result of that, that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. And it stinks for teams like Ajax and for the teams that like live on the Champions League revenue. I'm thinking about the Scottish coefficients just got to a chance to where like Dortmund, second place in Scotland can now have the opportunity to automatically qualify for the group stage. We're talking about like teams like Dortmund, teams like Ajax, like they're gonna lose a lot of money where that was like guaranteed. And so as a result, now it's just going to be all about like, are we big enough to be a part of this? And if we're not, then where do we go from here financially? You know, and how does that help us fulfill what we want to do as a club.
Brian, that's the thing, right? People have said that this whole Super League is available for other clubs, but realistically, who's going to be joining them? Honestly, heart to heart, if you think about it logically, where you think about the big clubs are getting the most support, and the lower clubs like your Dortmunds, your Ajax, your Leicesters, they're not going to get as much support. So it's just going to be this. It's just going to be this cycle of clubs getting this. The big clubs such as Liverpool, United, City, and Real and Barca getting all the support to join this league, whilst all the other clubs won't be able to join it because they're not that big.
Right. The Super League is just and look, like, I'm a Manchester United fan, and I like the resources and things that Manchester United have, but like, it's important to recognize too how clubs get to those places, right? You can either get bought out, or you can get to those places by performing well on the pitch and growing your brand, right?
That's what Leicester. That's what Leicester. Right. That's why you got to look at Leicester as one of the greatest teams ever, bro.
But this, like, any opportunities for clubs to, if you're trying to have conversations about like how do we keep the big teams big and the small teams small, this is how.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like what's the point? Like what's the point now? Like, you look forward, like going forward. What's the point of finishing in the top 4 anymore if the European Super League is going to get more TV revenue?
But then this is where people like Kroenke benefit, because he hasn't finished in the top 4 for like the last 3-4 years, bro. Now he's a vice chairman of a Super League, bro.
But
you don't even deserve to speak at that table.
But my only argument against this, when we use the term small clubs, we've got to bear in mind that these small clubs are still owned by billionaires. Like, use Leicester City, for example. Leicester City are owned by billionaires, families, business owners. They're still billionaires that yes, they might not necessarily be spending as much, but they weren't spending as much in part because of financial fair play rules. So a lot of these smaller clubs that are owned by billionaires actually had some of their hands tied behind their back, because FFP said, no, you can't spend X, Y, and Z because your club right now doesn't generate the necessary revenue because your lack of a worldwide fan base to do that. Not that they couldn't, if they wanted to, say, we'll spend 200 million on X, Y, and Z. Hence the Chinese Super League, when they were spending ridiculous wages and all these players and stuff like that because there was no cap. So they could spend 50 million on Diego Costa's wages. So do you think that UEFA knew that this was coming, hence the reason why they relaxed for FFP in our countries now? Because they're to like kind of make them, all right, look, you're more involved again, kind of thing. But I think that the damage, I think, had already been done. And I think that, I said, all these clubs want to test the waters and see, hang on a minute, how do we do it? And if what Sam says is true, how to punish all the clubs in one Super League,
tomorrow, fucking up. And that's what scares me right there. That is what scares me. And to telling me right now that even by them announcing it, they fucked up. They have.
But how? But also one of the. So go ahead, Indiana.
No, go on, Brian. You finish up, and then
I was saying that this is also like the other side too is like, of course, the majority, like, of course, so many of the like Premier League teams would be a part of this as well, because the Premier League is like where the money is in world football right now. So like, of course, they're going to try to keep their boots on like the necks of teams around the world.
Sorry to interrupt you. So effectively, PSG have won the Champions League.
I just saw that.
Yeah, because Real Madrid and City and Chelsea basically will be banned. So PSG effectively the champions have won the Champions League.
Oh my God, can you believe that?
And
can you actually believe that?
Yeah,
because all the
do you know what that means as well? Do you know what that also means? That means that for Manchester United, that's a big thing, because I think the favourites for the Europa
League,
Arsenal have a chance of have a chance of winning it. So
Indiana, it's going to be blamed on Ollie.
That'll be Roma and Villarreal in the final. Roma, Villarreal.
Yes, Ollie's fault. Ollie's fault. The reason why I didn't win the Europa League.
Ollie bottled it. He bottled it.
Another semi. He's done it again. He didn't another semi.
He lied in the interview. He's the mastermind behind it. That's what it is.
He bottled another semi.
Yeah.
Freaking apparently Liverpool just made the decision to quit out as well.
What? Wow, where are you not getting this information?
Liverpool made the decision to what? Liverpool made the decision to what? Not join the Super League.
No, they've quit the
They've quit
UEFA association.
Yeah, they quit the UEFA association.
Wow.
What, to go fully into the Super League?
Yeah. So they're out. They're out.
Shit. Listen, if it's immediate effect, it means if it's immediate effect, this means Leicester will win the Premier League. Because if they're kicking, if they're actually kicking, they're kicking. They're not going to allow. They're not going to allow you to be part of the Premier League as well.
Yeah, but then the thing is, like, the things with Stephen saying these things, like, what does it even mean? Like winning the Premier League now, or even winning the Champions League now, because in the following season, it's not going to even look like those respective competitions anymore. So you almost might as well rename it to English First Division and European competition, because it's not.
Won't be the Premier League clubs, isn't it?
Yeah, they're saying
they would still have to kick on. They would still have to kick on in what they're doing. They can't. I mean, the Premier League couldn't moonwalk and then say, "All right, we're going to downgrade these leagues and so on and so on." All they're going to do is just kick on.
They'll be downgraded anyway because the revenue. They're not going to get the revenue.
All they try to do is just
let me ask the question. If you take those teams away, let's say you take all the teams away, let's say top 6 teams, let's say maybe let's say 7 from them.
Big up busy.
What difference in terms of revenue or fans is this remaining league versus the Championship? What's the difference between the Championship and the maybe with the exception of maybe Leicester?
Yeah.
What's actually different based on revenue?
This is insanity. Man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Real Madrid, Chelsea, and Manchester City are probably going to get kicked out of the Champions League this season, which also means that Manchester United and Arsenal are going to be kicked out of the Europa League.
Yeah, man.
So,
I'm pissed off. Do you know? Oh my god, who's in from Serie A?
Roma.
No. Inter. I think Inter, AC Milan,
Inter, AC Milan, and
just
Juve.
3. Yeah, and Juve. Yeah.
From what I've heard,
No Roma, no Napoli, no.
Wait, Indiana. Do you think this is why? Because Chelsea knew so many fans would boycott it. Do you think this is why on Thursday they did a massive megastore sale? Because then everyone bought their old stock before it got boycotted.
What? Say that again.
Chelsea did a massive megastore sale on Thursday and Friday, which is apparently when they finally agreed to join it. Do you think that's because they knew they'd get boycotted?
Do you know my God, no way.
Do you know what, Will? Do you know what?
Yeah.
Do you know
Oh my gosh, this affects the World Cup too.
Yeah, Chelsea was selling shirts for 20 quid.
Because players
20 quid.
Yeah, if you went to
I've
Stamford
seen it
Bridge
with Man
in a
United
megastore,
shirts as well this week. Man United shirts have gone down to as little as £25 for a replica kit. Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Oh,
UEFA. No, I was saying that UEFA is saying that every club and player participating in the Super League will be banned from all UEFA and FIFA competitions.
No. Quite that. Okay, first of all, FIFA already released a statement that basically say that it's whatever it is. UEFA don't have any control over FIFA competitions like the World Cup. Their European competition, yes, they do, but they're not going to be able to ban players from going to the World Cup in Qatar 2020, for example. And
but the Euros going forward are like a dead competition for players on clubs involved in the Super League.
Yeah, because that's run by UEFA.
Then it's still stupid. Stupid.
Yeah, but that's the Euros. That's not necessarily the Copa del Rey. Their configuration. That's not the African Cup of Nations. That's not the Asian Cup. Because as far as they're concerned, the European, if anything, they're probably laughing at them because the European nations taking their players all the time. So they're probably thinking, actually, hang on a minute, you're going to finally be on our level. Like, we've been playing for goodness knows how many years. We've been stealing our talent for how many years. And as far as the World Cup's concerned, FIFA's like, we don't care. Just as long as you guys keep on coming to the World Cup and keep on competition.
So I also heard, and I don't know, nothing's obviously super official yet, but apparently they said that teams that there's a rumor that teams that are excluded from their domestic leagues, if they decide to come back into the domestic league later on after being a part of the Super League, will have to start at the 5th level in their
Yeah.
So that would be the National League in England, which would be outrageous. Like if you leave and then try to come back, you have to start at the National League level.
Listen, they're not going to want to come back.
No.
The financial incentive. It's not like this. Isn't like starting a new business and you've got to promote it.
Yeah. No,
it's self-promoting.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's
I think they get like 400 million a year. 400 million a year or something.
Football is dead. The Premier League is dead.
They're not, but they're not going to want to come back though. Fundamentally, like, and it's the simple fact that 90% of football fans are compromised of these 12 clubs. What are they coming back to exactly?
Listen,
exactly.
I'm not. As nice as Spain is, I don't really want to get on a coach for an away day to Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean?
Can you imagine every 4 weeks you gotta go somewhere wild, bro? Like that is crazy.
I think that's crazy. I mean, how much this Super League as well is how much football is there going to be?
Well, remember the whole point of the Super League was supposed to replace.
Was supposed to be the Champions League.
It's not supposed to replace domestic leagues, but obviously domestic leagues are now. So I think the next is we've yet to have an official from the Premier League to say we are actually going to kick these teams out. I think that this battle was with UEFA. I think UEFA one, I think, is lost, but I think now it's the respective associations to go, okay, it's up to them to say maybe we can negotiate something with these clubs. So are the Premier League and the Serie A and the Liga going to side with UEFA, or are they going to say, right, maybe we can come to a compromise with these clubs and say, okay, you go and do your thing just as long as you would it. But because for me, it doesn't make any sense for the Premier League when they're still going to be there playing football on the Saturdays, on prime time on Fridays and Sundays, say we're going to ban these six or seven clubs because they're playing a different league midweek.
The news just keeps coming. So PSG won't be winning the Champions League because all UEFA Champions League games have been temporarily suspended.
No, you're lying. Come on, what's going, bro? This is meltdown central. What is going on?
That just shows you that
they've been no, actually not suspended. Sorry, they've been cancelled temporarily. Cancelled.
Yeah, so that shows you UEFA's in the mud then, doesn't it?
Where are you seeing this? Where are you seeing this? Where are you seeing all this?
Oh my god!
Don't say Twitter. Don't say Twitter.
Listen to this. Super League promises solidarity payments to support European football will be substantially higher than those generated by current European competitions, and is expected.
Have you also seen that apparently
8.6 billion during course of initial commitment period.
So basically, they're basically paying hush money to everybody and saying, "Listen, leave us alone, and we'll give you more than you're getting usually." That's it. That's it done. That's it. Simple as it done. Because
crazy.
Because listen, it makes sense. The people who are going to be in charge of the league, to put it in simple terms, right? People in charge of the league are the people who are the owners of these clubs. So they've got more of a say on that buck going in their pocket, on diverting the money. It's about money. It's all about the money.
100%.
This isn't about helping 100%. Other clubs grow in the pyramid.
I mean, Indiana, this is literally capitalist football. The teams in the Super League are going to get much better. Even the Arsenals, the Tottenhams are going to get much better.
Oh, for sure.
Premier League, like for example, let's say Wilfred Ndidi, for example, his market value could be around. A team could maybe buy him for around 80, 70 million. His price is going to go down. Super League teams are going to be able to buy other teams' players for a lot cheaper. So the Super League teams are going to get really good. Every team will be elite. And then all the lower leagues, their team's going to get worse.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like 20 years ago, you weren't seeing Leicester in the top four, right?
No.
So what if Leicester start dominating the Premier League and you end up with Leicester winning it year in, year out? Will they be able to go into the Super League? Will they expand it for that? And if that happens,
how much that's the question. That's what I wanted to know. That's what I wanted to know. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, let's say like Crystal Palace. Yeah,
that's because there's no relegation, right?
No relegation.
There'll be no relegation in this. So if you can't let anybody in or out, what does this actually mean? Because you'll still end up with super clubs in the Premier League.
But this is what I was trying to say. So at some point, let's just say I don't know, Palace, right? They get a billionaire owner, right? And this guy just says, I'm pushing all the money through this, yeah? And we will get, any sick player that's outside of the Super European League. And they start winning the Premier League for the next 10 years constantly. Like they got fans all over the world. They're killing it. They're getting mad revenue. They got a new stadium. They're packing it out every week. Does somebody from the European League then call them and say, do you want to be in the league now?
Nah, come on. Let's be like.
But how does it work?
Even if that happens, Leicester City are not going to somehow go from like their fan base now
exactly
to 100, 200, even if they win the new form of the Premier League or something now, because like their investment, Leicester's investment recently has come from the billionaire the Tyrants have taken, and they've done a good job of it running the club.
They've done an amazing job.
Who's gonna?
But
they buy cheap, sell high. They got a wicked training ground. They got an excellent.
They have. But let's be real. Leicester City, AC Milan are in complete and total regression. But AC Milan's worldwide fan base is still higher than Leicester City's.
Yeah, but Leicester's will grow.
But they're quite big in Asia. Though.
Red Devil Studio is
quite
big in Asia.
They will get bigger and bigger and bigger.
How long is that going to take? No one's going to watch not as near. Nowhere near as many people going to watch the Premier League. Why would worldwide fans want to watch Leicester win, which is now going to be pretty much the Championship, when they can watch the Super League? It's not going to happen.
Think about it, yeah. Don't forget, Man City don't have much fans. What they've done is they've invested for the future. Everything they've done now, from the last 10 years or something.
Yeah, but Real Madrid do. But Real Madrid do, but City do that. This is the thing, like all these,
City don't have nowhere near the amount of fans that all the other teams in the Super League do.
But what got money? Yeah, but what I was trying to say is that, like, still, if you look at the combined teams, fan base in the 12 league, it's still 90% of all fans worldwide, and they are going to be, most of them are going to be watching that. So even if they Leicester City win back-to-back 10 leagues, what proportion of those fans are actually watching it? And the reality is that the ad revenue, the money, etc., is gonna diminish. So it's not even gonna. It's gonna be the equivalent of winning the championship every year, winning the first division. Okay, cool.
With Man City as well. With Man City as well, I know they don't have as many fans worldwide, but the amount of fans they get, they're gonna expand even at a quicker rate now, because they're going to
don't get it twisted. Even from the last 10 years, from what City have been doing till this present day right now, their fan base has trebled.
Oh yeah,
but they are getting better. I see that. This is what I was trying to say. This is what I was trying to say with Leicester. Since Leicester won the title till even now, they've got, and even the investment they put into the club. Again, they buy cheap, sell big, right? They scout the sickest players for mad cheap, sell them off to big club. But now they're in a position where they don't actually have to do that anymore. They've got a wicked stadium, they've got excellent training facilities, they've got everything. The town of Leicester the majority of Leicester actually support Leicester City, brother. Do you know what I mean? Like
my partner's dad is born and bred Leicester.
And he supports them, right?
Big fan. Lives in Thailand. It's a huge fan base in Asia. For Leicester, like this is what I'm saying. I feel for Leicester.
100%. They were on their way. They were on their way.
In the next 5 years, they'll be. They would have been up there. They'll be right.
They were building something special.
But the thing is, if this Super League would have happened in 5 years, bro, I think Leicester might have just crept in. Tottenham did. Do you know what I mean? Like, so they might have actually just crept in. So if 5 years comes now and they're still doing their thing, I don't know.
It's not going to be, but that's the thing, it's not going to be the same though. If the current status quo was, or you're saying the Leicester thing, that was fine because that worked in the current Premier League.
It's a new era. Yeah,
it's a new era.
Yeah, I
do hear that.
I hear it's going to be a new era, so it's not going to be.
I don't listen. It's all based on pretty much like commercial revenue, right? So like the clubs that get the most views, just put it like that. So it's a bit like what we do, right? It's like it'd be like throwing Mark Goldbridge, AFTV, and True Geordie together, right? That's what it is. Because they get the most views, right? They get the most subscribers.
Yeah,
that's all this is. Because let's be honest, Spurs shouldn't be in it. If it's about football and your achievements,
They've
Spurs
not
shouldn't
won
be in
anything
it.
in 13 years. Yeah.
Exactly.
Bro, respectively to my club, we should be nowhere near this. Nowhere near it.
Exactly
We
that.
should
I
actually
think.
be still with Leicester.
Oh man, the announcement officially just came out that all the Champions League and Europa League fixtures have been suspended until further notice. It's just
So it's official now. Yeah,
it's official now.
So that just shows, but then that just shows you wait.
The crazy thing is that Chelsea have announced it, Arsenal have announced it, Liverpool have announced it, Manchester City have announced it, that they're all joining the Super League. Man United have yet to announce it.
And then they're the ones spearheading.
Are they?
That's
United announced it. I thought United is on the page.
No,
if they haven't announced,
they haven't announced it yet.
That's just because they're lazy. Because Joel Glazer is the vice chairman.
Yeah.
So,
right. I know that they're in it already, but it's just a shame, because United know from a PR standpoint.
It's United. It's like the transfer window. They'll do it tomorrow. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. They'll be like, they're gonna wait till like the day before.
Like Jadon Sancho,
like
Jadon Sancho still coming
on the last day. On the last day, they'll do it.
Dude, Jadon Sancho's coming now. Ain't he with the Super League money?
Wow.
Money, hey, we can give you 50 million a year. I hate this more than anything because I'm just not even able to celebrate the fact that United finally beat Burnley at home in the Premier League.
This is bigger than football.
Can I ask you guys?
I'm actually glad this took over because our draw to Fulham today was despicable. I'm so glad this is taking over everything.
Go on, Will. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Is there any part of you that is a tiny bit excited about this? Not excited, maybe, but sort of just interested to see what's going to happen.
Will, do you know what it is? It's inevitable. You can't you can't help the change.
I'm not getting angry over it anymore.
You can't sit there and be angry about it forever. For me, it's a massive shame. It's a huge shame. But I am looking at it like I've had dogs all my life, right? It's going to sound a bit weird. But this is how it is for me, right? First dog, loved the first dog, but she died. She died.
Yeah,
I got another dog. I got another dog. He was incredible. Right? I had an incredible dog. Right? I had a Springer Spaniel. She died. I had a Husky.
I tend to use that analogy with managers. This
wasn't over the space of a couple of days. This is a period of like 20 odd years, right? And then now I've got another dog. Now I've got a boxer dog, right, Frank, and love him. They're all different. All different.
It's like me, but I had a baby.
I'm still gonna miss the other dogs. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm not crying every day. Do you know what I mean? I've got a new dog. It's something new.
Nah, he makes a point. He makes a point. I mean, Manchester United had Cristiano Ronaldo, bro. They sold him. It's like, all right, cool. We'll get another one, innit? Do you know what I mean? You got Wayne Rooney afterwards. Like, you just move on. You just get on with life, I know. Well, he was there at the same time. He was there at the same time. Yeah,
he was there at the same time. What we did get was a still.
Got Valencia and Nani. But basically, you know, you just move on. You just go with the time. So eventually,
we got. Listen, there's no need being angry about it because you literally have no say. If fans had a say, then we wouldn't. Arsenal, Man United wouldn't have the owners we've got there.
PSG could be crowned UCL champions tomorrow by default.
That's so fucking posh. What a fraud! What a fraud!
I thought they temporarily suspended the game, so they're probably still negotiating with things.
No, they're saying they said it could be announced tomorrow. It could be
That'd
announced.
be hilarious.
Look, man, UEFA right now, they're in a position where they don't know what the fuck to do.
They don't know what to do.
They actually don't know what to do.
All the Ollie Outers are going to be saying, "Oh, but Poch is a Champions League winner. He won the last Champions League."
I know. We said he's bottled the semi, hasn't he? You know, so he's bottled another semi somehow. You know, so.
Literally, even without even playing, he's bottled.
I think
they'll still be going on about the patterns of play. That's what they'll still be going on about.
This is mad. This is just madness. The thing is, we're saying, we're complaining about the timing, but from them, it's perfect timing. It's 100%. Just perfect.
100%. And then what makes it worse is now we're actually learning, that this news has actually just crashed their competition. The same competition that they're saying that they're going to be fighting against the new European. Literally, only the news of it being announced has.
Fab's just tweeted.
crashed.
There's nothing official stated about Europa and Champions League.
Okay.
So we'll see. But that doesn't mean to say that hasn't been leaked.
Yeah.
It said it could. It could be announced tomorrow. So.
We will talk about this on Wednesday on Grounded Football, of course. Hopefully RDS will be there. Kesh will be there. Who's that? Jem. Rachel will be there as well. Obviously, hopefully Danny and Neeks can join us. And we'll know a bit more by then as well, hopefully. We were planning on doing it tonight, which I'm glad we didn't. We were planning on doing it at like 10 o'clock tonight. And I'm glad we didn't because we wouldn't have known this. And it's hard to reflect on things within the space of an hour. Do you know what I mean? Let's take a bit of time on it.
Still want to see all the details for sure.
Yeah, definitely, and see where we are with it. We might not even know. We might not even know by Wednesday. But if you're watching this on a playback, please tune in.
Can you imagine though, if in Italy, in Spain, and England, if teams involved in the Super League win the major trophies in those countries, what those federations might do or be tempted to do?
In classification to what? In regards to what?
They could like end up you just trying to figure it all out. They could like end up. I could see the seasons potentially getting canceled. For an example, like say if Manchester City is involved in the Super League and they end up winning the Premier League this year, they could end up going to win the Premier League. They could end up canceling the season, or just not awarding the trophy. Or just not awarding the trophy.
But if so then what happens to your sponsors though? This is the thing.
Yeah, I don't think they can. They can't cancel.
But I mean, if you look at the Super League going forward, like when the TV sponsors did the deal with the Premier League, it wasn't to broadcast West Brom versus Newcastle.
Yeah,
no,
you know what I mean. Like,
I agree.
So,
it's just. Do you remember what happened when there was with the initial COVID situation when they were thinking of cancelling it, and the I think the broadcasting rights in China, who had the Premier League deal, like threatened to, or there was like some renew their deal or take out. There was something with the basically the broadcasting rights because of what was going on with COVID, because they're threatening to cancel the league, and they're saying, listen, we're broadcasting the Premier League to billions of people in China. Like you bet, and the Premier League caved. They gave into the demands of the nation of the because
which is mad, really, that it would be China saying it as well.
Yeah. So look at the Ozil thing. So this is it again goes back to what I'm saying about the idea of like, unfortunately, like what this has shown really is that like
let them play.
Yeah.
Let them play.
Yes, RDS. Sorry, you were saying.
No. It's just a simple. At the end of the day, like if football is just been what it's just the reality of the globalization of football, and unfortunately, you know, these owners are fundamentally they're not thinking about the small community next to Old Trafford or Stamford Bridge or St. James's Park or whatever. They're thinking of the billions of fans in China, the billions of fans in Africa, the billions of fans in South America, and how they can get money, how can they get merchandise, how can they get advertising to make more and more money than they're already making.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Is so I live in the Southwest and I've coached junior football grassroots for nearly 15 years. And what I'm seeing more of is Manchester City shirts. They don't live anywhere near Manchester. Most of them have never been to a game. 99% of them have never been to a game. Now, if Manchester City end up winning their Super League a few times, they will pick up fans from Spain. They will pick up fans from all over the place because clubs pick up fans from winning,
and consistently winning
as young children. Because they like when you're in school, they have competitions. Like I was pretty cool with it because I was a Man United fan, right? It didn't really bother me. I was like, yeah, we're winning things. You can carry on with your banter type thing.
Yeah.
But if you're in a school now, it's like I see the kids when I'm all the Man City fans bantering the Man United fans and the Arsenal fans, the kids. Like I'm coaching the under 13s right now, right? Those fans will be picked up from all over the place. Don't think it won't, because it will. You will pick up fans from Italy. You will pick up fans from all over the place, because that will be the league.
100%.
That will be the league.
100%.
Yeah. Oh no, of course. But I think the only difference I'd say for now is that obviously City have had, with the marketing and the advertising and the investment they've had and the dominance of the Premier League in the English obviously competition, they have obviously created a new generation of fans because of how successful it was. So you're right, success does breed fans. So when it comes into the Super League, the amount of you're now getting teams that have a significant amount of history. You've almost got like now a somewhat more of an even playing field than you did have in the Premier League. So yes, City might win the Super League 1 or 2 times, but the thing is, you've now got a Real Madrid who've got the history, who've got the money. You've now got United, who've got history. You've now got teams that are now on a somewhat equal level playing field when it comes to who they market to, who they can attract. You're not now having to provide that with
no, because everything becomes equal in a way.
Yeah,
because like even the arguments with fans will not really be relevant. Think about this. This is a whole new league. Like the arguments of we've won this many Champions League, we've won this many Premier Leagues. We've
means
reset.
nothing. It means nothing.
It doesn't mean anything. So you start again. Listen, Man United and Arsenal, especially Spurs, could be at the bottom of this Super League year in, year out.
That's fucked.
And you're never going.
This is what I'm trying to say.
It's possible.
That's the hurtful thing. This is the point I'm trying to make. We shouldn't be in this conversation. We can't beat Fulham with all of our players on.
But then that logic was saying that, like, are you now no longer an Arsenal fan? So are you supporting that club? Are these fans on a supporting club solely based on the histories that they're? You're not, because it's deeper than that. So obviously you're going to follow your club irrespective of where you know.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing with that. Yeah, here's the thing with that is that Arsenal fans will run out. The only thing that's going to happen moving forward with Arsenal, right? Okay, back in the day with Arsenal, right? A lot of black people used to support Arsenal because Arsenal had the black players. All right. So from that, and then we used to win things. All right. So we gathered this massive fan base, bro. Like, and it was huge. It's huge. Nowadays, if you support Arsenal, it's one of 2 things. You either live in the area and it's your local team, or your parents have grown you up to support that club. There's nothing right now that would have a newborn kid. Like, I look at my daughter now, yeah, and like she's 2 years old, right? First thing I did, I bought her the whole Arsenal kit. Like, she's got 2 now. So 2 seasons running, she's got an Arsenal kit. She sees me and mine and we watch all the Arsenal games. She more than likely is going to grow up an Arsenal fan. But I promise you, if this girl gets into football proper hard, I can see her one day saying to me, Dad, I don't like Arsenal, you know?
Yeah, because
I like Man City, or I like Chelsea, or I like...
but the point is that
the point is going to beat the shit out of her for that, innit? But what I'm saying is, like, you know what I mean? We're going to beat the shit out of her for that. But I understand. I get it.
The point is, in the Super League, it's going to be in a more of an even format anyway. So yes,
not for us.
Of course. Yes, of course. Because for one thing, the revenue. So right now, let's just take Arsenal. You're not getting any Champions League revenue. That's hitting your club. Now suddenly you're going to get £500 million from just joining something. 500 mil. 500 million.
No, it's true. RDS, do you think
that does stuff? It's $500 million. Sorry, go on, India.
Does anybody think it's strange that tonight this has all been announced, but a couple of hours earlier it was announced that Messi's father is going in to have talks about a new contract with Barcelona tomorrow?
Bro, don't you think it's funny?
So it's like, do you know what I mean? Like,
he was meant to leave to go City in January because he could sign for anyone. He never signed for no one. It's what Barcelona did is they replaced their president.
Indiana, I mean,
Go on.
every club's gonna, as we've all said before, every club is gonna have an elite squad. Every club will, because they'll be bringing in enough money for them to spend more.
In the beginning. In the beginning, yeah.
I still don't see it happening, guys. I promise you. I don't see Arsenal. I mean, I think about it. We get 500 million for joining, right? So what are we going to do? Bid for Mbappe or Haaland?
Maybe not that, but your squad all round will be an elite squad overall.
Yeah, who? This is what I'm trying to say.
Gal might get his dream agreement.
Because look at team. For example, you could buy.
All right, listen, Indiana, yeah. Stop chatting shit because I agree with a guy with that. But we'll get into that in another conversation.
Yeah, we will.
I will. That's definitely the conversation. We're gonna talk about.
You'll have to come on Fraud Watch on Friday. Ads, do you want?
I'm there.
Ads, do you want to say anything before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think the Super League is retarded, stupid, and dumb. just like any top class or world class player going to Arsenal. So for me, it's just as bad and stupid as each other.
I'll take that. All right.
But no, serious talks.
No one had a problem with it in the 90s, though. No one had a problem with it in the 90s. Why is it a problem now? They broke away from the first division and created a top 6 situation that we have, and they invited billionaires into clubs. So it was fine then. Why is it all that's happening now? I'm not saying I like it, but all that's happening now is what basically was sown in the early 90s when we said, you know what, unlimited transfer fees, unlimited player wages, bring billionaires in, get the TV revenue, let's distribute money based on audience, on revenue, on fan base, and let that in. This is just the fruit of that. So it's all well and good to say, oh yeah, we don't like it. All you're doing, even if this stops, is just delaying it for maybe another 2 or 3 years. Because go the opposite way and say, right, we now need to get pushed for 50% to 100% fan ownership of clubs. It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
you're going down this route anyway.
No, it's true. Listen, we got to wrap up. We will get into this on Wednesday on Grounded Football, so please tune in for that. But listen, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe, like the video, you know what to do. Thanks everyone for jumping on.
Thanks.
And, Wednesday, but Tuesday first. Tuesday, make sure you tune in on Tuesday. Oh no, sorry. What am I talking about? Tomorrow. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for League One and League Two EFL show with Niall and the boys. Right, take it easy, people.